This video was edited by AJ Analysis. Check out his channel, linked in the description below. And you can also check out my Patreon as well for exclusive content. That will be linked in the description as well. So with the January transfer window approaching, it does seem like Manchester United may be able to offload some of the players who haven't been able to cement themselves as first team players either under Rangnick or under Solskjaer before. The two main players who United could cash in on are probably Anthony Martial and Donny van der Beek. Now whilst I would consider both to be top level players capable of playing in the Champions League, I do think they do suit certain systems better than others, and unfortunately for both, they don't really suit Rangnick's counter-pressing 4-2-2 system. This is because whilst I do think both players can play in Rangnick's system, they aren't better fits for those roles than the current players Rangnick is playing, such as Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes. Before I come on to why I think Martial and Van der Beek are struggling at Manchester United, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Jersey FIFA, where you can go to get cheap good quality football jerseys for £30 or less. They have current season jerseys available on the website, as well as retro jerseys from all the biggest clubs in the world, as well as tracksuits as well. I myself have bought a number of different jerseys from Jersey FIFA, and my favourite is probably my Manchester United 2003-2004 shirt with Ronaldo on the back. So if you want one of these shirts, then be sure to use the link in the description and use code ATLANTISFOOTBALL at checkout to get 5% off. So I think Van der Beek's best role in the side is playing as a central attacking midfielder, sitting between the lines of the opposition's defensive and midfield line. He's excellent into play and off the ball movement, makes him perfect for playing the role of a second striker, making movement off of a deeper lying forward, which is where we saw him at his best at Ajax with either Kasper Dolberg or Dusan Tadic dropping off from the forward line, dragging a centre back up the pitch and providing that space for Van der Beek to make a run into. Martial can play as an inside forward, playing from the left side, but I do think he's better playing as a centre forward, where he can be the player to drop off from the forward line, receive the ball to his feet and bring his teammates into play, or he can make runs in behind the back line into goal scoring positions in a very Thierry Henry-esque way. But both do have problems, which is why they haven't really fitted in at Manchester United as of recent. Whilst Van der Beek's short interplay around the box is very good, I wouldn't really class him as an elite level creative player in terms of creating chances for others. He's definitely not in that bracket of Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne and players on that level, and so playing him over someone like Bruno Fernandes or Jadon Sancho would take significant amounts of creative ability out of the side. Now I do think that Van der Beek could do a decent job in the two attacking midfield positions in the 4-2-2 system that Rangnick likes to play at Manchester United, but I just think he's not going to be as good as Jadon Sancho or Bruno Fernandes, or even Paul Pogba when he comes back into the side. So I think it's going to be better for him personally to move on in January, and it will also allow United to recoup some funds to potentially bring in another player, which I'm going to suggest later on in this video. Martial's in a similar position, as I don't think he's as good in Rangnick's system as Rashford or Cristiano Ronaldo, and I would even put him behind the likes of Cavani and Greenwood when it comes to those centre forward spots. But if sold, how much could United expect to get for both of these players? Well, Van der Beek is only 24, 25 in April, so he could probably fetch between 30 and 35 million pounds, I'd say. Now this may be hard to get in January, which is why I would suggest a loan with an obligation or an option to buy in the summer, as I think that will be the best way for United to extract maximum value from this Van der Beek deal. Martial is 26 years old and has 2.5 years left on his contract, so I reckon Martial could bring in around 40 to 45 million pounds. He, like Van der Beek, may need to go on loan until the end of the season as a part of a deal, but come the summer I fully expect United to get around 40 million pounds for Martial. That means United should be able to raise around 70 million pounds at least in future fees from selling both in January. Well, with two attackers gone, United would need to bring someone in, but who should that player be? Well, the first player I would suggest is RB Leipzig's 24-year-old attacking midfielder Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku can play anywhere along that front line, in behind the striker or in the front two in Rangnick's 4-2-2 system. He's been at Leipzig since 2019 after moving from PSG, so he's well versed in how this counter-pressing system works both with and without the ball. This is obviously going to make his adaptation time a lot lower than a player who's playing in a slightly different system, and he offers versatility within the system as well, able to play in any of the front four positions. Now in terms of Nkunku on the ball, he's one of the best in Germany at the moment, and this season he's definitely added that clinical goal scoring ability that could put him in that top level bracket. This can be seen as this season in the Champions League alone he scored 7 goals in 6 games, in the Bundesliga he scored 7 in 17, giving him a total of 15 goals in 25 games. This is an absolutely fantastic record, particularly for a player who's known more as an attacking midfielder than a centre forward, but I'll come on to the rest of his stats in just a bit. When he receives the ball in a congested area of the pitch, he's excellent at using his close ball control to move the ball quickly and then drive past opposition players. Like Sancho, he's got the natural dribbling and pace of a wide player, as he did used to play there when he was at PSG, and he's almost a converted central attacking midfielder. And this means, like Sancho, he's perfect for a quick transition in attack, able to receive the ball in the middle third and drive forward, progressing the ball into the final third, which is absolutely essential for a quick transition in attack, which is what Rangnick wants to implement at Manchester United. His passing range is also very good as well. He's able to play long passes to switch the play, driving the ball out to the flank, but he's also able to create by playing lofted passes over the back line when he drops off from the forward line, receiving the ball in between the lines. But I think it's inside and just around the box where Nkunku's going to add the most value to Manchester United. His acceleration off the mark enables him to make these subtle runs in behind the back line, which enables him to get into 1v1 goal scoring positions, and he's a very composed finisher, and he has the ability to sit the goalkeeper down before dinking the ball over into the net. When he does receive the ball in the box in a congested position, he's got the ability to shift the ball quickly and drive the shot fiercely across the keeper as he did against Manchester City. He's also added aerial ability to his game, scoring a number of headers from his good movement, attacking crosses when they come into the box, and this is something that's definitely going to aid him in the Premier League, as we've seen players like Diego Jota and Sadio Mane really add this skill set to their game, and this obviously enables them to score more goals. If we look at his FB ref report over the last 365 days, we can see how good Nkunku's been. So Nkunku has played mostly as an attacking midfielder, but also as a centre forward, and so I'm going to judge his on the ball statistics compared to other attacking midfielders. Before his defensive metrics, I am going to compare them to forwards, because most of the time he is pressing high, and this generally is what forwards do, as in a non-pressing side we often do see wide attacking midfielders or even attacking midfielders sitting slightly deeper, and so their pressing numbers are going to be higher than centre forwards. So for expected assists, Nkunku ranks in the 94th percentile with 0.32 per 90 when compared against every other forward in Europe's top 5 leagues over the past 365 days. He ranks in the 93rd percentile for non-penalty XG with 0.41 and the 95th percentile for non-penalty goals with 0.47, an overperformance of 0.06 per 90, showing that Nkunku is finishing more chances than you would expect him to from the XG model, which is definitely what you want from your attacking players. He does only rank in the 59th and 57th percentile for progressive passes and progressive carries respectively, but this is because he's usually playing higher up the pitch than a natural attacking midfielder, and he's often making runs in behind the back line, so he's higher up the pitch, less likely to get the ball and be able to carry it forward, though he does have this ability when he drops deep between the lines. He ranks in the 63rd percentile for dribbles completed and the 92nd percentile for shot creating actions, but when we look at his defensive metrics, we do see that when compared to attacking midfielders he does rank quite low, with 43rd percentile for tackles and 37th for interceptions, but when we compare him against the forwards, which I think is a fairer way of judging it as he is higher up the pitch in a high press, he ranks in the 89th percentile for tackles and the 94th for interceptions, showing that Nkunku is a perfect player for an aggressive pressing system like Rangnick's. Now before I give my overall verdict on Nkunku and whether he should be signed, let me tell you about the second player that could be a good Van der Beek Martial replacement, and that is Lyon's Lucas Paqueta. Paqueta is a central attacking midfielder capable of really playing anywhere in behind the centre forward, but like someone like Roberto Firmino, he does have goal scoring ability, and so I could see him either playing as one of the two attacking midfielders in behind the two centre forwards in the 4-2-2 system, or in the front two dropping off between the lines whilst Ronaldo retains a higher position. Like Nkunku, his finishing ability has developed significantly over the past year or so. He's excellent at getting into these positions on the right side, where he's able to open up his body to use his stronger left foot to side foot the ball past the keeper into the bottom corner. And similar to Nkunku as well, he's very good at getting the ball out of his feet when in a congested position around the box and finishing the opportunity. He's also a very good passer of the ball, able to play these through passes that are well weighted, finding runners in behind the back line, and around the box he often picks the right pass to play as well, and this is why I say he's similar to someone like Roberto Firmino or Memphis Depay, in the sense that he's a bit of a hybrid between a forward and an attacking midfielder, but he's best when he's allowed to drop off from the forward line and play in between the lines, and that's why I think he fit perfectly in Rangnick's 4-2-2 system at Manchester United. When we look at his FB ref report, we can see how impressive he's been. When compared to every other attacking midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues over the past 365 days, he ranks in the 93rd percentile for non-penalty goals with 0.45 per 90, and ranks in the 95th percentile for non-penalty XG, also with 0.45 per 90, showing that he's scoring the exact amount you would expect from his XG model. For expected assists, he's ranking in the 88th percentile with 0.28 per 90, and for shot creating actions, he ranks ranks in the 79th percentile. He ranks high for progressive passes in the 95th percentile, not as high for progressive carries, just the 32nd, which shows that he's not really a ball carrier as much as Nkunku is, and the fact that he ranks in the 57th percentile for dribbles also backs this up. But when it comes to his defensive and pressing ability, he ranks extremely highly from his FBref report, ranking in the 95th percentile for pressures, the 99th for tackles, and the 43rd for interceptions, showing what an asset he'd be in an aggressive pressing system. But even if both Martial and Van der Beek were to leave in January, I still think that United only need one attacking midfielder as they are pretty stacked in that position. But how much would both of these players cost? Well, I think Nkunku, because he's got a contract until 2024, come the summer, he's going to be a prime asset that RB Leipzig may look to move on. And so if United can make a move in January, I do think they could get him for a little bit less before the interest builds throughout the second half of the season into the summer. It's a similar sort of story for Paqueta as well. However, with Paqueta, he is at Lyon, and French clubs do seem more willing to sell players for lower fees, so I would expect him to cost slightly less than Nkunku. But who should Manchester United sign? Well, even though I do think that Nkunku would cost around £50 million and Paqueta maybe around £40 million, I do think that Manchester United should be going for the Frenchman. And not only do I think he's a better fit for the counter-pressing style of play, which seems that United are going to stick with even after Ranić, but I also think his goal-scoring ability is slightly better than Paqueta's, and I do think he has higher potential at the moment, even though I do think that both players are already top level and could move into that elite level bracket in the next few seasons. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, sign up for my Patreon if you want exclusive content, go to the description to check out AJ Analysis's channel who edited this video, and you can check out some of my other videos which will also be linked in the description as well, and put your thoughts in the comment section below.